Hey everyone, it's Jordana Jaffee, founder of JordanaJaffee.com.
I don't know. I figured that a year from then, I would know what I was going to do.
Welcome, Jordana, to the Greenway Startups, and I'm really happy to have you here. You are one of the biggest advocates who I know who is actually really trying to motivate people and online entrepreneurs to start their business through Facebook groups, right? So let me ask you, what is your 1-minute elevator speech, what you usually use?
Sure. Yeah. What I say is that I help women entrepreneurs who are introverts or homebodies, and I teach them how to create super engaged Facebook groups and also effectively participate in other groups so that you can grow your online community and get clients while staying at home in your cozy PJs.
Oh, wow. That's really nice. So remind me, you started your recent business in 2014, correct?
15 actually.
15. So actually recently, but I know that before that you used to live in New York City and you wanted to become a writer for a magazine, right? So tell me how actually everything turned around and you decided to move to Pennsylvania to start an online business, because moving from corporate world to actually being an online entrepreneur is so different.
Yeah, so I thought about being a writer like 10 years ago. And then I started my own business and I just really liked the lifestyle. I liked really being able to support people the way that I wanted to support them. And I liked being able to do what I want when I wanted to and control my schedule. So that was the inspiration. Like, it was 9 years ago. So yeah.
So let me ask you, we all know that you are actually like introvert and you are a homebody. So it's a very interesting question that, so when you are an online entrepreneur, you have to get out and you have to share your personal stories. So how do you manage it?
I think that's a great question. I think what happens is that for me, so everyone has different kinds of energy levels, right? And I think that for some entrepreneurs that are introverts, being visible on social media still feels really energetically draining. I can't speak for all introverts, but for me, what I found to be the most energetically draining was really networking. That isn't to say that like when it's a cozy group, when it's a more intimate space, that I'm not comfortable doing it. And I was able to do it. It wasn't that I wasn't able, but it wasn't fun going to these random networking events in New York City, most of which weren't that cozy and intimate. So for me, putting myself out there as an introvert on social media feels a lot cozier. I can do it at my own home. I can do it wearing whatever I want to wear. I can do it whenever I want to do it. I can do it while watching TV or watching a movie or listening to music or hanging out with friends. So, there's so many options. It feels a lot cozier.
So how does it feel sharing your story, your personal story? Because you often share your love story or how you got married and how you started the business, how you feel in the everyday. So is it difficult for you, or is it much easier doing online?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think I like sharing my story. I like sharing my story and I like doing it, but I think that there's a certain time for us to share certain parts of our story. So I won't necessarily share my story immediately as it's happening, right? I might share it like 2 months after it happened, or 6 months or a year. So I think that there's a specific time that feels good for you to share your story, but I think that I mean, as an entrepreneur, we're only going to potentially benefit people by sharing our stories with them. And when we don't share the real stories as to what really happened behind closed doors, people always kind of wonder. I think there's a skepticism around, but what really happened? How did you really get to where you are? So I think it also offers more trust and a closer relationship with the people that you're connecting with online because they believe you more.
Do you feel that you have some disadvantage building an online business outside of New York City, like in Pennsylvania, or?
Yeah, no, I don't. I know what you're saying. And I think that if I really liked going to all these networking events, then yeah, maybe it would feel that way. But I don't. I lived in New York for a while, right? And I didn't love building my business that way. So, and if anything, once we moved, in some ways it was a relief because I was able to kind of just build, I didn't have to say no to as many invitations, you know, because, yeah, so it ended up feeling better.
Okay, so you started your business about at the beginning of 2015, and by today you have like close to 10,000 people in your Facebook group. So, but let me ask you that, how was the beginning? You know, when you actually don't have a list, you are just starting out, how did you build your group?
So the first 500 people we added, which I talk about in my free guide and how like that I don't teach that, nor do I really recommend it, but that's what we did. So that was the first 500 people. And then after that, it was really just word of mouth. It was a lot of different strategies. I think things are happening very quickly in the Facebook world. And I think that it's good to like be on your toes and everything. So I've used a lot of different strategies based on what feels most exciting to me, what's happening at the time, how big our group is. So, the biggest ways have been Facebook ads. They've been collaborations where I promote someone's group and they promote my group. I've done free challenges that have grown our group. So it's been a variety of different ways, but, and they've all been interestingly effective, in their own ways. So I'm always looking for new ways to grow the group, to further engage the group that not only are effective, but that like excite me and that light me up and stuff like that. So yeah.
So what I wanted to ask you is that you are so different in running your online business because there are so many online entrepreneurs charging for their programs $2,000-$3,000, and you go against everybody and you decided to make your programs available for everybody.
Yeah, I did. And I think it's just for me, it was a matter of what felt good, right? It wasn't really to make a stand or anything. It was just that for me, it no longer felt good. I had been charging a lot of money and I realized that it no longer felt good for me and that I didn't want to do it. So it was kind of as simple as that. I just, it felt scary and it felt like a bit of a risk, but it worked. So that was really great.
So let me ask you that, how are your days looking like every day? Like how many hours do you work a day? Are you busy? Well, because for example, myself, I think I even work more as an online entrepreneur than actually in my corporate job.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah. 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 I mean, it varies. I work a lot less, I think, than I used to, but it's because I work so much for so long. So, I mean, it depends. I'm always kind of thinking about my business, but I don't know, just because of the way my life works now, I don't really have like set office hours. I do what I need to do when I need to do it, and it all works out. So that's kind of how it works now for me.
So how is your typical day looking like?
It depends. I mean, I can wake up, I'll work out, I'll go to the chiropractor, I'll get some work done, I'll go to the acupuncturist, I'll see friends. I mean, so it's not like, because the thing is I don't take calls, so I can do work in front of the TV at night. I can do work on my phone. So I delegate a lot of stuff too. I've created a lot of stuff. So now I'm able to delegate a lot of it to my team to like reorganize it and all that. So, you know, it varies, but I'm able to do work, many different ways. So there isn't really a set, I mean, and that might change a set time, but that's kind of how it works now.
How big is your team? You mentioned you have a team. So how big is your team?
Yeah, so I have a tech VA, I have a regular VA, I have, and then I have other people that I just need time to time. I have a bookkeeper, I have an accountant, I have a Facebook ads manager, I have a designer and developer. I think those are like the biggest people on my team. I have a business coach, but in terms of like who I delegate stuff to, those are the biggest people right now.
Okay, so you have like full-time people, about three to four people?
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. So, and did you have these people right from the beginning, or you just build up over time?
Yeah, no. I mean, yeah, it definitely wasn't right from the beginning. I mean, I started my business in 2007, and I probably didn't hire anyone for my team until 2010. But between 2007 and 2010, I had a lot of interns. So I always, you know, I like delegating. I think it's, you know, fun, and I like connecting with people. So for me, it's not difficult. I know for a lot of people, it's difficult to do that. But I really like it. I really like giving people work that I don't like to do or that I can't easily do and stuff like that. Yeah, so it works well for me.
So when someone is starting out to do an online business, do you recommend to build a team right away and delegate tasks, or you rather preferring basically to save money and to reinvest into the business and try to spend the money to different directions to run marketing, Facebook advertisement, and so on?
I mean, I think it depends on I don't think there's like a set cookie cutter way of how to build your business. I think that, I think it depends. And I think that there's always ways to get support from the beginning. Even if you feel like your budget is limited or, you know, you're just resistant to spending the money. There's, you know, whether you want to barter or just hire someone really low cost, there's always ways. So I think that from the beginning, you can definitely delegate and outsource a bunch. You just need to be willing to, and you know, if you need to, just be a bit creative.
I know that before your online business, you had also other businesses.
Mm-hmm.
Do you also consider yourself successful in those businesses, or mainly this one which was really getting to the stage that you would say that you got to the point where you wanted to?
I think that success varies, right? Like, how do we define success? So I think that, you know, all of those different businesses, you know, I had, I guess, this is my fourth business. So, but all of them, you know, kind of succeeded in their own ways and benefited me and other people in their own ways. So I don't think of any of them as failures, nor did I end them because I felt like they were failures. For me, I just felt like it was time to do something else. It was time to help people out in another way. So that's why I shifted from one to another. But yeah, I see all of them as successful. I think, you know, at the time, while I was doing each business, I sometimes wondered, like, do I feel successful in this business? But looking back, I think I definitely felt successful, you know, and I definitely see each of those businesses as a success.
So what are those 3 recommendations you would share with us when someone is just starting out to run an online business? So like attitude-wise, or what action should be taken?
Well, I think if you really don't know what to do, or that if you need accountability, I think getting a coach of some sort is important, or enrolling yourself in a course so that you can get some kind of guidelines and strategy. I think that's important. And then I think that having a community of some sort, perhaps that comes with the course or the coach, I'm not sure, but having a community to support you, because there's going to be times where you doubt yourself, you're overwhelmed, you want to throw in the towel and quit. So I think that's important. That would be the second one. And then I think the third thing would just to be to get really clear on why you're doing it in the first place. And yeah, and like probably write it down too, because as I said, there's going to be days where you wonder, like, should I be doing this? Like, this is hard. I don't want to do this anymore and all that stuff. So that's what I would recommend.
So it means that you also had moments when you were about to give up, or
Did I what? Sorry.
it means that there were also days when you were about to give up.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. I mean, I think everyone experiences that as an entrepreneur at some point or another, because there can be really overwhelming days. There can be really frustrating days and upsetting days. So I think that totally makes sense, which is why I recommend all of those things, because those things will help you on those days when you feel that way.
Do you have a coach at the moment?
I do have a coach at the moment, but it's not, I have a coach for strategy and accountability. It's not to like make sure that I don't quit. You know what I mean? But I think in the beginning, especially, you're not necessarily used to the ups and the downs. So it's really good to have someone in your corner to help you stay focused.
And how close you are to your coach? I mean, do you talk like once a week or every day you have an email?
No. We talk twice a month, and then I can reach out to her like as I want to. But every coach offers something different, right? So perhaps that's something that someone needs. Perhaps someone needs some kind of other structure. So I think that, and lots of different coaches offer different things. So when someone's looking for a coach, I think it's important to just kind of be clear on what would work the most for you, and then seek someone out accordingly.
Okay, so what was really important for you when picking or choosing a coach?
When? Now or in the beginning?
At the beginning and now. It's really interesting to see how you changed.
Well, I think every time it's different. Now what I'm looking for more is like someone to strategize with me and someone to bounce ideas off of, and accountability. I think that in the beginning I was looking more for a plan. I didn't have much knowledge around like what to do to help me move forward.
Were there moments or were there situations when you really made a big mistake in your business?
I'm sure there were. I'm sure there were lots. I don't really remember them, nor do I really focus on them, because it doesn't help me. Yeah. So, but I'm sure that there were plenty. I'm sure that there were like a lot of moments where I did not feel like I, knew what I was doing, or I felt like I messed up. I think that one of the things I learned was that it's important to collect money before you give someone something, as opposed to when you wait for the money after you do something, because sometimes people just won't pay. So like that's something that I learned. There are a lot of things that I learned along the way, but I guess that's the first thing that comes to mind.
And is there any new launch you are working on at the moment?
That's a good question. Right now I have a program that I'm leading called the Cozy 5-Figure Launch, which I'm teaching about how I developed a course under $100 and inspired, hundreds of people to sign up. So it ended up being like a $30,000 launch. So that's something that I'm currently teaching, and I'll be making the recording available once the class is over. Beyond that, I'm not really sure what next steps will be, but I'm figuring it out now. So it'll be revealed sooner than later.
Yeah, probably renewing and coming up with new ideas is not so easy, right?
Sometimes it feels really easy, and sometimes it doesn't. I kind of feel like they come as they want to, and so I kind of need to be patient with that process.
Okay, so what about collaboration with other 6- and 7-figure online business owners?
Sort of a peer-led mastermind. So that's great for support. I've been a part of like paid masterminds in the past, but I'm not currently. But yeah, I think it's really important to have a community, to be a part of a community. So I definitely support that and recommend it to people.
Any big plans for 2016 in your personal life and also in your business life?
So my business, as I said, I'm still trying to figure out what I want to offer next, but that's revealing itself. And, that's really where my focus is right now.
And your personal life?
Yeah, I'm married and I'm happy being married, and I don't know, maybe we'll get a house soon, but that's pretty much the focus.
Okay. Jordana, thank you very much for your time. And I really was happy to have you here today. Can you please let us know where we can contact you?
Sure. You can go to JordanaJaffee.com, and you can also go to our free Facebook group, which is bit.ly/you are magical.
Oh, great. Thank you so much for your time, Jordana.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.